Hey everyone, back to you into this morning's video doing this CFS 6 months look ahead for May. Today this will be taking us up to November, can you believe? So once we do next month's update, the June update, that will take us through to the end of the year, can you believe that? As I always say with the CFS 6 months look ahead, it's just for fun. The charts are there, so we might as well use them. But looking ahead 6 months with one model, it's highly experimental, let's say that, and probably quite dubious as well, particularly when we get sort of 4, 5, 6 months away. Really is in the realm of speculation, and we just really use it to see what the model is showing. But obviously when you get to 4, 5, 6 months away, you can expect very, very significant changes to be taking place as that time frame gets closer. There is some merit, though, for looking, say, 2 or 3 months into the future, I think. And, of course, that takes us, for this particular update, into the summer. So it'll be very interesting to see what the model is showing at the moment for the summer of 2015. Now, before I get on with that, just to say about the ads, there's links to articles on all the pages at gadsservice.com. Have a browse of widgets, any articles that you're interested in. Please click through, you'll be able to go off and read the article, and thanks very much for doing that. There's video ads on most of the pages. They open out within the content, but they close back up again when you watch them. Give them a watch. They're quite short, sort of TV, commercial, or movie trailer length. So have a look at them, see what they're about, and you have to pay for the website. Thanks very much for doing that. The link to the CFS V2 model can be found on the links page. So we're going to start off with 700 bit of our height anomalies first of all for the coming 6 months, and then we'll have a look at the corresponding temperatures, and then we'll have a look at the corresponding precipitation anomalies. So starting off with the 700 bit of our height anomaly for June first of all. This is what the model is showing currently for June. It's not the greatest this. We've got above average heights around Greenland and Iceland, so hints of northern blocking up there, and then we've got below average heights going underneath it. That's never a very good sign, really. It's showing that the jet stream is probably travelling through that sort of region, and we can expect the flow to sort of be easterly, northeasterly perhaps at times. So relatively cool, relatively unsettled starts us off for June for this month's CFS 6 months look ahead. And as I say, the first month or two, it probably has more merit than going sort of 4, 5, 6 months away. So this is probably the most reliable time frame from the model. Not a great 700 mm height anomaly to start us off with. Excuse me. We move through into July, and well, it's not great again. Look at this. We've got the yellow and orange colours in there over Greenland for July. Below average height sitting to the south of the country once again, or sitting to the southwest of the country, and underneath that blocking. So again, the idea I think with this is that the flow, the jet stream is probably taking a southerly track, and we're probably bringing down sort of northeasterly influences into that trough of low pressure. So reading between the lines, June and July both sort of hinting, they're not totally there, but both hinting at relatively cool and relatively unsettled conditions for the first 2 months of the summer. Moving ahead into August, we see a change taking place for August. We position or reposition the above average heights. So they set up over Scandinavia, and also over here the orange colours are in there across Scandinavia. We've got below average heights to the south of Greenland, and the flow is probably going like that. So August on this particular CFS 6 months look ahead, probably holding the greatest chance of getting some warmer weather, and maybe even some quite hot weather at times, because with the above average heights sitting over Scandinavia, we could possibly start to think about dragging up sort of southeasterly or maybe even southerly influences. Depends how active the Atlantic is, but I think out of the 3 months, August is probably the best, really. Have a look at the temperature and precipitation anomalies that go with these charts in a moment. But I think out of the three, August, at the very least, holds the best prospect for some warmer and drier conditions. It's not perfect. You would want the high pressure really to be centred over the country, or maybe somewhere towards Denmark. It's a bit far to the east, really, but it holds out the best prospect. As we move through to September, we see very significant changes, but of course, as we get through to September, we're going into month 4 now, so we're going a long way out, and confidence is obviously dropping very dramatically. But this is a common sort of pattern that we tend to get in September a lot, which is above average heights in across the country. So out of it all, September is probably the best, really, in terms of dry weather anyway. And that would be quite warm as well, the above average heights sitting right over top of the country. That looks very nice end to the summer and start to the autumn. As I say, this is a very consistent pattern that we tend to get in September, with high pressure sort of building in across the country. So it wouldn't be at all surprised if that was how it panned out. You may remember last year, September, what was it, 2014? You may remember that was exceptionally dry. I think it was dry since 1959 or something ridiculous like that. So it may come off. High pressure for September is one of those regular things that we tend to see. Go through to October, we're at month 5 now, very, very low confidence, really in the realm of just the thumb. But what it's showing for October is that above average height continues to stick around the country. So quite a nice autumn coming up, if this is right, with low pressure around Greenland and Iceland. So the jet stream is going like that. I think that's a pretty decent couple of months there for September and October. But it's so experimental, it's so far away, but I haven't got any confidence in that scenario coming off. And then for November, month 6, so really is just the thumb miss, but we've got high pressure around the Azores, we've got low pressure, deep area of low pressure around Greenland and Iceland. The jet stream is running right through the country, so that's a much, much more unsettled month. Would be very wet, but the Atlantic storms driving in off the ocean. Very wet and windy, but probably quite mild with the flow in from the west. Excuse me. But as I say, it's month 6, so really, really low confidence in that solution. Right, let's have a look and see how the temperatures correspond with this. We'll have a look at the precipitation. So we start off in June. And what we see for June is that the temperature anomaly is coming out around average in those white colours, but there's no real suggestion of any warmth here for Western Europe. Actually, Western Europe looks relatively cool. We've got cool anomalies there being hinted at anyway, not widely, but being hinted at through France and down into Spain and Portugal as well. So the cool weather that we've had through May, it generally looks like it's probably going to continue into June on the CFS 6 months look ahead. Having a look at July, and again, very disappointing anomalies really for July. No real suggestion anywhere across Northern or Western Europe that we could get some above average temperatures. The anomalies generally coming out around average, with splodges of blue mixed in, just indicating that we could be on the cooler side of the average at times. And you would expect it really, because what both June and July are hinting at with the height anomaly is that we're going to get some sort of southerly tracking jet stream with some blocking to the north, and it's likely to be relatively cool and unsettled on that sort of situation. Now, going through to August, I said out of the 3 summer months, August probably holds the best prospect, if nothing else, for some warmer and drier weather. Actually, it's keeping Western Europe generally with these average to cool temperature anomalies, but notice how much warmer it is over Scandinavia. That's because we've got this ridge, of course, sitting over Scandi, somewhere around there, and the flow is going something like that. Now, it's just a case of how active the Atlantic is. If we've still got areas of low pressure coming in with the jet stream off the Atlantic, then of course we're likely to be unsettled, and that would have an impact on the temperature. But if those areas of low pressure are not as strong, we will, with this area of high pressure over Scandinavia, at the very least have the possibility of dragging in warmer air from the south and the southeast. So out of the 3, you have to read between the lines with these long-range models. It's not evident, particularly on that temperature anomaly, but reading between the lines, particularly with this warmth over Scandinavia, I think August holds the best prospect out of the 3 summer months for some warmer weather. Now, this is a little bit surprising. For September, the temperature anomaly is still coming out around average, and it's still hinting at sort of cool to Western Europe. But most warm anomalies over Scandinavia are dramatically reduced as well. Now, remember, for September, we've got high pressure right in over the country. So if it did pan out like that, the jet stream would be going up there in that sort of position. And I think that would be a warmer than average month, to be honest. So I'm not quite sure what the model is doing there. Maybe it's because of the cool summer, the unsettled summer, it's seeing quite cool sea surface temperature anomalies around the country, something like that. It must be something that's pegging the temperature back, because with the 700 millibar heights building the ridge in, it's still September, so the sun still has a kick in it. I would expect a warmer than average month there, so I'm not sure what's going on with that one. And then let's go through to October. We do turn milder than average, but of course we're getting through to the unreliable part now, very unreliable at 5 months out. No confidence in it, but it is seeing a milder than average month for October, as it is for most of Northern Europe. And then we go through to November. Remember, November is the month where the Atlantic comes back big time. So we're bringing in a strong jet stream, and we're also bringing in deep areas of low pressure. So obviously with the westerlies feeding in across Europe, you expect a milder than average month, and that is what the model is showing. 6 months away, and not at all to be taken seriously. Having a look at the precipitation anomaly. Now, this is a little bit surprising for June, because it's actually coming out a little bit drier than average across many parts of Europe, as it is across Scandinavia. So this does imply a very southerly tracking jet stream, I think. It's sort of suggesting that the jet is running through there, where it's wetter than average across France and down into northern parts of Spain. And of course got all this ridging up here, this northern blocking. I think it would be more unsettled than that is suggesting, really. I don't think the jet stream will go that far south, not in June. So it's more likely that the jet stream actually would be running through here. And of course that does bring us a much more unsettled month. So although that's coming out drier than average, I would expect it to actually turn out to be a wetter month than that is suggesting. But well, you never know, because if the high pressure is just to the northwest, let's say the high pressure is somewhere in here, then what could happen is that the jet stream goes something like that. And that wouldn't be desperately wet, actually, because the high pressure here is sort of protecting us to some degree. So the wettest conditions with that will probably be going down in towards the Low Countries and Germany, in that sort of area just there. We tend to be a little bit drier the east, perhaps the wettest. So that could be what's going on there with the jet stream sort of doing an elongation, and we just about managed to hold on to the drier side of the jet. Nevertheless, it would be a relatively cool and unsettled start to the summer. July looks wetter than average. You would expect it, of course, with the 700 millibar height anomaly that we were seeing. We're more or less bringing the jet stream through the country. So you would expect a wetter than average month for July, and that is indeed what it's shown. I've got some quite interesting charts coming up on the blog this afternoon from the JMA model, by the way, looking at June, July and August, so come back for that. I don't want to give anything away at this stage, but have a look at the blog this afternoon. There's going to be some quite interesting charts of the JMA appearing on that, and I'll be looking at that in the video in depth on Monday. So if you want to know what's happening for Japanese model, do keep checking back. We go through to August, and perhaps a little bit surprising again, whereas England and Wales is coming out a bit wetter than average, as it is for many western parts of Europe. Now remember, in August we've got the ridge sitting up somewhere around there. The flow is going something like that. What we could be seeing for August is signs of a thundery month, actually, with the wetter than average anomalies down in the south and southeast, with drier than average anomalies up in the northwest, and the high pressure, of course, over Scandinavia. We could be sort of opening the door to southerly, southeasterly winds, possibly bringing up excuse me, the risk of thunderstorms and thundery rain. So potentially a warmer month of August, but also that perhaps holds the best prospect of some thunder. Go through September, the high pressure is sitting over top of the country, so this is what you would expect. I'm not sure why the temperatures are indicated to be so cool, but the precipitation is coming out significantly drier than average. And of course, with high pressure right in over top of the country around here, and the jet stream going off up there, you would expect a drier than average month, and that is what we see for September. Let's say it's a regular feature, although this is sort of 4 months away. I'm not totally discounting the prospect for this particular month, because in September, high pressure is often an omnipresent feature. It's often something that we get for prolonged periods during September. It's the month where I sort of tear my hair out when I'm looking for things to update about on the website. But on the plus side, it's a nice end to the summer usually. So maybe that is how things will pan out for September. And as we go through to October, the above average heights are around the country, of course, so it's seeing another drier than average months there. 5 months away, though, so no confidence in it. And then, unsurprisingly, we bring back the low pressure off the Atlantic through into November, and we increase the jet stream running through like that. So a wetter than average month is indicated for November. Could be quite a stormy month if it was to come off, with severe gales at times and lots of heavy rain. It's a mild month, but it's a wet month. But of course, it's 6 months away, so there's no confidence in this being how it pans out as we get through to sort of 5-6 months away. And the only reason I'm taking September particularly seriously is because it's the pattern that we tend to get on a recurring sort of scenario. Many Septembers see that area of high pressure building in, giving us a dry and normally quite a warm month. So that's the only reason I'm taking September seriously. Otherwise, for month 4, month 5, month 6, I don't normally take it particularly seriously. But going back to the next 3 months, which is the period, of course, in this update where we have got a little bit more confidence, the anomalies don't look great. Taken as a whole from the CFS D2, it looks like we're in for quite a mixed summer. Temperatures, nothing particularly to write home about. July, perhaps the worst of the 3. August, possibly holding the best prospect for some warmer and drier weather, but not totally settled. And on the pattern, August could be the one that delivers us some long-awaited thunderstorms and Spanish balloons. Well, that's it for now. Come back to the blog this afternoon where we're having a very quick sneak peek at the JMA update for the summer. And then tomorrow I'll have a video looking in depth at this update from the Japanese model. So come back for that later and tomorrow. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching.